Hello. In this episode, we'll demonstrate how to work with the Work Orders module in the MoldMaker system. Log in to the system. From the main panel or the side menu, select Work Orders. It is important to clearly understand the difference between work orders and maintenance cards. Work Orders is a module for managing maintenance and toolroom tasks, while maintenance cards record a tool's life cycle history, similar to a paper maintenance logbook. Today, we are discussing work orders, which cover inspections, repairs, and other activities performed on production tools. Work orders can be in different stages of completion, so the list header provides 3 buttons that categorize orders by their current status. A tool filter and a search field are also available. For example, let's first go to closed orders. These are completed orders, meaning the work has been finished and no further action is required. They contain complete information about the completed job. The first stage in the life cycle of every work order is the service request stage. A machine operator or production supervisor submits a report describing a problem with a tool. This type of report is the first step in creating a work order and indicates that the order is awaiting review and possible acceptance for execution. In this case, we see a work order with the service request status. This order is assigned to the repair category. We can see its priority, description, creation date, and the author of the report. Photos may be also attached. Now, let's click the Add New Work Order button. In this example, we assume the role of a production supervisor and report a problem observed on an injection mold. In the Tool Name field, specify the tool for which the work order should be created. The system automatically sets the status to Service Request. At this stage, only a brief description of the problem is required. However, we can also select a category, set the priority, and specify the subject of the request. At this point, it is worth mentioning that category types can be defined individually in the Settings, Work Order Configuration menu. You can add a new category, assign a color and icon, and set its visibility within the system. Please note that once a category has been used, it cannot be modified later. Select the Repair category. Provide a short description of the issue. For example, enter. A broken slider was noticed. Let's also add a photo of broken slider. At the bottom of the page, we can optionally select the checkbox labeled Add an entry to maintenance cards. This means that when the work order is saved, an additional maintenance card will be created in the system and assigned to this tool. We save the request and receive a confirmation message. As a reminder, maintenance cards record the life cycle history of a tool, while work orders is a module for managing maintenance and toolroom tasks. We can now see a new work order with the status Service Request with the Repair category. We can also see the creation date and the author of the request. Since we selected the Add an Entry to Maintenance Cards option, we will now check the maintenance cards list for this tool. We return to the work order. At the bottom of the screen, we can see that the tool already has many maintenance cards. We click the Maintenance Cards button. A list of maintenance cards for this tool is displayed. The most recent card was created when the work order was saved, and it contains the same information as the work order. We return to work orders by clicking the order number. This adds a new work order with the status Service Request, which will be reviewed in the next step by the maintenance department or tool shop. At this stage, the role of the production manager or machine operator ends. The problem with the injection mold has now been reported. The next step belongs to the maintenance department. We will now assume the role of a maintenance department technician. They use the Work Orders module on a daily basis. Go to Work Orders. The system displays orders with the Service Request status by default. The technician sees that a new request has been submitted. we assume that the technician accepts this request for processing and changes the status to "in progress." Furthermore, he sets the category if it has not been previously defined and provides the subject of the request, for example, "slider repair." Additionally, a description in the "in progress" field should be completed, the expected completion date, and the estimated time required should also be specified. Confirm by clicking the Save button. The work order has now been assigned the status "in progress," meaning it has been accepted for execution. The repair category has been set, along with the subject, estimated time required, and the expected completion date. The maintenance department employee has now confirmed acceptance of the work order. Continuing this example, we assume that the damaged tool has already been repaired. The maintenance or tool shop employee must now update the work order status and add the appropriate notes. Open work order and change the status to "closed." Note that the end date is filled in automatically. However, it can be adjusted manually. Complete the description of the repair work performed in the "Description Closed" field. For example, the slider has been repaired by laser welding, grinding, and fitting. The technician can also record the spare parts used for the repair and upload supporting photos. At the bottom of the form, you can optionally select the checkbox labeled "Add an entry to maintenance cards." This means that when the work order is closed, another maintenance card will be created in the system and assigned to the tool. Save and confirm the changes. This means that the work order is now in the "closed" status, indicating that the work has been completed and the tool can be returned to production. Also note that in the "Duration" column, the system shows the calculated duration and the deviation from the planned time. At the same time, another maintenance card has been created as a record in the tool's lifecycle history. Now, let's take a look at the maintenance cards. Return to previous work order. We can see that all fields are grayed out, which means no further entries can be made. The order is closed. We also see that the tool has many maintenance cards. Click the Maintenance Cards button. The system displays a list of maintenance cards for this tool. The most recent card was created automatically by the system when the work order was closed. We can also see that 2 maintenance cards were created during this presentation. The previous card is the service request, and the latest card confirms the completion of the work order. Automatic creation of maintenance cards can be enabled or disabled using the "Add an entry to maintenance cards" checkbox when editing a work order. Return to all work orders using the left menu. We can see several orders with the status "in progress" and one order with the status "suspended." The suspended status is an additional intermediate state used for work orders that, for some reason, cannot be continued. It can be changed to any other status if needed. The statuses "completed" to be approved and "cancelled" are also available. To summarize, the natural life cycle of work orders moves from service request through "in progress" and finally to "closed." This presentation introduced the concept of working with the Work Orders module in the MoldMaker system. Its purpose is to support operations in the maintenance department and the tool shop. Work orders are linked to individual tools and to maintenance cards, which record events throughout a tool's life cycle. We hope you enjoy using the MoldMaker system.